Okay, hello everybody. My name's Jameson Chase Young. This is Coins and History. Today I'm showing off and talking about both my 1924 Philadelphia piece silver dollars and Joseph Stalin's 1924 Rise of Power. The 1924 piece silver dollars, the piece silver dollars in general, I always thought were the most underrated coins in American history. They're really nice, and it seems like you can always get them for like a dollar or two less than the Morgan silver dollars. I think that's why they're so underrated, because everybody loves the Morgan silver dollars so much. The piece silver dollars get kind of overshadowed by the Morgans. But these 1924 piece silver dollars are really beautiful additions to the coin collection. And the 1924, this particular one, the 1924 Philadelphia, there was a total of 13,539,000 across two mints. You had this one, the Philadelphia Mint, and you also had the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint struck 11,811,000 coins, and then the San Francisco Mint produced 1,728,000. So this is by far the most common 1924 piece silver dollar. The piece silver dollar originally came after the Pittman Act of 1918 that melted down all those tens and hundreds of millions of silver dollars. There was also in that act was required to strike millions of silver dollars again beginning in 1921. They originally used the Morgan dollar design, but then people started lobbying the mint to issue a new coin, and they wanted a coin to memorialize the peace following World War I. And although they failed to get Congress to pass a bill requiring redesign, they were able to persuade the government officials to take action. The peace dollar was approved by Treasury Secretary Andrew Millen in December of 1921. Now, it's important to note that if you look, there's two things that are unique about the peace dollar. In God We Trust on the front, trust is not spelled Trust, it's spelled Trvst. The V stands for victory in World War I. On the back, they decided not to have the eagles. Normally they have the eagle grabbing a bunch of arrows. They thought that it would be better, since it's a piece silver dollar, to just have the eagle grabbing a bunch of nice little leaves. They first struck them in December 28, 1921, and just over 1 million of them were struck in those few days of 1921. So the 1921 is pretty rare. And I think I mentioned this before. In 1965, for some reason, the Denver Mint struck 316,000 of them out of the blue, and none of those are known to survive. And its mass is 26.73 grams. Its diameter is 38.1. Its thickness is 2.4 millimeters. Its edge is reeded. Its silver composition is 90% silver, 10% copper. Its total silver, it has 0.77344 ounces of silver in it. The mint mark, you can see it's located above the tip of the eagle's wings on the reverse. The Philadelphia Mint, though, does not have any mint mark. Its designer was Anthony D. Francisca. And then Joseph Stalin, arguably the most screwed up person in world history. You know, if I had to pick between him and Adolf Hitler, I'd probably give Adolf Hitler the nod, simply because Hitler caused more damage with World War II. But Joseph Stalin was right there in the running and possibly beating him. But Joseph Stalin originally came to power in the Soviet Union following a complex political struggle after Vladimir Lenin's death in 1924. His overall rise to power, it was a complex process, and it unfolded over several years, shaped by his political maneuvering and his context of the Russian Revolution and the dynamics within the Communist Party. But in general, his political career started way back in the revolutionary background. Stalin joined the Bolsheviks fraction of the Russian Socialist Democrat Labor Party in 1903. He was involved in revolutionary acts, including bank robberies, to fund that party. And then the 1917 revolution, he played a minor role in the October Revolution of 1917, which brought the Bolsheviks to power. The position within the power, there was a civil war and the government's role, and that was after the Bolsheviks seized power, Stalin held several key positions, including People's Commissar for Nationalities and later General Secretary of the Communist Party in 1922. It was this role that allowed him to kind of build his networks and his loyal supporters and consolidate power. He was able to make friends in the right places and put his friends in the right places for when Lenin would eventually die. And as general secretary, he expanded the party's bureaucratic structures, placing allies in key positions and controlling appointments. Following Lenin's death, a power struggle ensued among the leaders of the Bolsheviks. And Stalin gradually undermined his opponents. He used political alliances and public campaigns to isolate Trotsky, who was eventually expelled from the party in 1927 and later exiled total. He defeated his opposition. By the late 1920s, Stalin had effectively eliminated his main rivals, and by the early 1930s, Stalin had established himself as the undisputed leader of the Soviet Union. After Lenin's death, he had just kind of put the right people in power at the right time in the right places, and little by little, he went from a position, general secretary. It was a seemingly administrative position, but it did allow him to put the right people in the right places, and little by little he was able to work his way up, even though he wasn't technically like next in line. He wasn't Lenin's vice president. They obviously didn't have any elections, and like I said, he was arguably the most screwed up person in history. You know, Adolf Hitler had the Holocaust. Joseph Stalin had so many genocides. It's hard to know where one began and the other ended. They all just kind of melted together. He was killing so many people, and on top of that, like if you look through Joseph Stalin's family book, there was a lot of people in his own family that he sent off to the gulags. And he held power all the way up until 1953, until his death. And that's what was going on in 1924 when this 1924 Philadelphia Peace silver dollar was being minted. I hope you found this interesting. I hope I explained that well, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy this video, please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. My name is Jameson Chase Young, and this is Coins in History. Thank you.